Go. Are we on? We're live, Pay.
My phone says we're live.
Good morning. Welcome to the Bear Cave. Happy 2023.
You got it right.
Yes.
How many
Wow.
times you have to go over that in your head to make sure you didn't say 2022?
12. But
23.
oh man, we've got a lot of good news. We've had 2 weeks off for the holidays, and we've had some life-changing things happening. So we'll get into that. Wow, how's everybody this morning?
I'm good. I'm awake.
Yep.
Well,
Yep. Pay's awake.
I'm
Folks half
awake.
awake.
I'm awake. I'm blessed to be here, that's for sure.
Yep. Rusty's with us. Hi, Rusty. We're blessed to have you. Oh man, so I don't even know where to start this morning.
Let's start with fire.
Yep. So Pay this. I asked her to go back through the our old videos because on February 11th will be our 5-year anniversary.
For doing this.
We would have been on YouTube like from the first upload we did. Was not like the very first video, but like the one when we started consistently uploading.
Mm-hmm.
Was February 11th, 4 years ago.
Oh wow.
So
yeah.
Tom, you've been up since 4:30. Holy cow!
Why?
Wow. Kudos to you, my friend. I hope the coffee's hot. So, kind of exciting. We're going into our 5th season of YouTube, and kind of looking forward to what that's going to bring. But when we left off, we did the Christmas party. How did you guys think of the Christmas party went?
I thought it went really well.
I did too. I had a lot of fun. The little Jeopardy game was a lot of fun. Very interesting.
Yep.
A good way to spend some time with some friends.
Yep. And we didn't do like the whole games where you pass the bottles with your neck or anything like that, or sticking marshmallows in your ears. But we kept it kind of PG, and Peg made up all the games, so we had fun. I enjoyed it. Seemed like all the kids enjoyed it, which is what's important. So don't know really what's going to happen moving forward, but we're going to probably keep doing the lives and cast iron Wednesdays, and I might have a little something coming up. I'm not sure yet, but man, I'm tired. I'm wore out. So yesterday, the girls went to.
I went to give blood. The new shirt. So we leave around like 1:30 to.
It was about 2.
We come back at 4. Well, he's out there doing yard work, and he's been doing it for 2 hours. So we're fighting with him to get him to sit down. He's like, no, I need this. I need it. So we just gave up. So now there's huge piles of hay in the back, or pine needles in the back with a whole bunch like brush pile too. So there's 3 huge piles we're not even done yet.
So y'all know, like, you've seen where we were doing the outside videos, and we're out back, and we underneath the pine trees, there was all those pine needles. Well, as I was sitting here looking, I was like, you know what? I need to clean some of this up. And then we got this day and a half of rain, and then we went about 4 or 5 days without rain, and we got another day of rain. Well, it floods in the back corner. And because it floods in the back corner, I wanted to get back in there and fix that so it drains right. And
if you want them, go back there.
There's a box.
then
And,
so I had to get back in there, and there's one branch I wanted to cut because it was kind of in the way of our videos and where we were shooting and whatnot. So anyway, I went out to cut that yesterday. One branch turned into raking up about, I don't know how many years of pine needles, but almost all the way across the backyard.
and now we have another day to write.
And so I've got two piles that are about, I don't know, 3 foot tall, about 6 feet wide of pine needles.
Yeah, one thing I found with cutting a branch off or just making a little bit more presentable, it's like eating a potato chip. You can't do just one.
Yep.
One turns out into 15 or 20, and you just keep going.
It turned out, and I just kept going and kept going and kept going, and we got the spot dug out to where that area where it floods is where we were shooting our videos,
Right.
the outdoor videos, and in that corner, because of floods, if you went behind the fence when my neighbor had his patio put in, when they dug it down for the dirt, dug the dirt out so they could put the concrete in, they dumped it over the fence. And then when they poured the concrete, what was left went over the fence too. So I have all this pile of dirt and concrete that is blocking
Stopping the drainage.
That runs the back line of the property all the way to the street.
Nice little berm there they made for you.
Yeah, so the idea was to get into that and get that cleaned up so I could, get some drainage going, and then maybe put a fire pit over there. I don't know. I've got a couple ideas kicking around, but anyway, so that was yesterday. I was pretty wore out. So Peggy, why don't you tell? Tom's asking what's on the menu today.
All right. So as I was going through old videos for Pop, I was making lists and whatnot. I came across Cubanos, which we made inspired by the movie Chef. If you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful movie.
Great movie.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
And so I was like, you know what? I said, I want Cubanos, so Sunday we're making Cubanos. And he was like, all right, that's fine. So we have, last night I fought with the pork loin. Completely fought with it. Because the last time we cooked it and then cut it. Well, I'm cutting it before I cook it. So there's a huge fat cap on the pork loin, so I was cutting through that and trying to keep it straight. And then we just marinated it for 12 hours in mojo. This is such a good citrus.
Put it underneath there we go. I like that one. It's
really
an easy one. It's like $3 or $4 at the store.
It's really good. So yeah, we have Cubanos, so we're gonna use pork loin. Then we have ham and Swiss, kosher dill slices, yellow mustard, and hoagie rolls with a stick of
Turn
butter.
your fire up, Peggy. It doesn't look like it's going very much. There you go. That down a little bit. There you go. That'll help. And then once it gets going, you can cut it down. So yeah. So she wanted Cubanos, and hey, I'm all down with that. We'll do. I'll take mine without a bun.
Yeah.
I gotta watch the inflammation. So we're almost 10 minutes into this. So we left off the Christmas party.
Mm-hmm.
That next week I had my scans, and they weren't getting read until after Christmas. So we got the scans done, the MRI and the CT scan. Come across in the what is it, my chart or whatever chart it is that the hospital uses, did, and Mom read them and said, "Good morning, Mike. Ketorific journey." So the scans come back that nothing was detected. Everything looked good.
Yay!
So we had to wait until after Christmas before we got the official word from the oncologist. So the oldest one, we'd already went up and got pay, obviously. So the oldest one and her boyfriend come in.
I'm still not used to you saying boyfriend.
Her beau. They came in and we had Christmas. Very surprising. I didn't know what we bought, so so we had Christmas and that was great. That was wonderful. Dad was in. We snacked a lot. Instead of, I don't know how you guys do Christmas, but we always do chili for Christmas Eve. So we had chili and cornbread. And I made a keto cornbread for me. And me and the dog shared it. And then we had the chili. Of course, I had beans in it because I'm from the Midwest. And then Christmas Day, instead of doing like a big spread, we had a meal planned for the evening, but we just threw out cinnamon rolls in the morning and then charcuterie board. You know, vegetables, meats, cheeses, all that stuff. So we threw that out. A big spread of charcuterie board, some dips. You know, pretty. You made your was it caprese?
Yes.
Which is tomato and mozzarella balls and balsamic glaze. So we dropped that out, and everybody just kind of snacked all day. You know, we watched Christmas movies and John Wayne all day, and then we got into westerns and stuff like that. You know, it's not Christmas without the do.
I've never heard anybody doing that. Watching westerns on Christmas.
Yep. One year I wanted, my wife was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And the only thing that I wanted was Hondo on DVD. Ever since that year, we'd went back to Ohio to get for Christmas that year. So we'd only been down here a couple years. And so I got Hondo for Christmas. So we watched it right after the presents were all done and the kids everybody kind of disperses. We threw at Hondo and that's what we were watching. So that's kind of become every Christmas I watch Hondo.
Okay.
And then, you know, Dad and Bradley and I were sitting there and we watched a couple other John Wayne movies and then we got into 007 and started doing that.
We played a bunch of games.
Yep. Kids played a bunch of...
I mean, we're a game family, so
we
did
games. Yep.
There was a special on TV, I think it was Christmas week, about the 007 gadgets. And they were going through all of the vehicles and the weapons and all that stuff. It was pretty neat. I'm not a big 007 fan. I could not sit here and tell you the plot of any James Bond movie ever, but I do recognize the Aston Martin and, you know, in certain things.
Yeah.
And to see the development stage and what made them decide to make what gadgets do what thing, that was a really interesting show.
Yep.
I think it was the History Channel.
If you think about it, Sean Connery had the original watch. He used to have the watch that he could get on there and do stuff with.
I think Leroy Jetson had it whenever he was in school.
Oh, which one? The Jetsons came out in the mid-70s.
I remember watching that show when I was younger.
The Jetsons were before the 70s.
They were old.
Yeah, that was
Was it 68?
late 50s, early 60s. That's what I thought the Jetsons were.
I don't know.
But anyway,
Somebody look that up.
James Bond, he had some awesome gadgets.
Yeah.
That was a great hour-long special to watch. Even if you weren't a James Bond fan, just to see the gadgets was cool.
The Jetsons came out September 23rd, 1962.
1962. One was Sean Connery and James Bond. She's looking it up.
There's a museum in California.
August 25th, 1930.
Yeah, the thermometer.
Sean Connery wasn't.
Oh shit, no.
That might have been when he was born.
Bond films between 1962 and 1983.
So they might have been
About the same
raced
time.
neck and neck with each
Yep.
other.
About the same time. Justin's came out in 62. Thanks, Tom.
But there's a museum in California that still houses a lot of the James Bond vehicles. And they gave a tour of that facility, and they had
Your probe's behind you.
a boat that had like guns on it, whatever, and that you could actually go from driving it on top of the water to going under the water for a short distance. Not like a submarine, but it was pretty cool. But they had different cars, and there was a couple that you could actually sit in and get your pictures taken in the James Bond vehicle. And then there were some that were completely roped off, and you were not allowed to get close enough to even breathe on the vehicle. But he had some really awesome stuff.
Yep, we like James Bond. I don't know what happened to Charlie. I don't know what happened to him. I posted it on Facebook and on the YouTube community page. So, but yeah, we like our James Bond.
It's not reading.
Huh?
It's not reading.
What's it saying?
Nothing. It's on.
The dead battery?
Pretty sure.
It was just working earlier.
All it reads is Celsius.
Well, hand it here. Oh, you're going to have to walk around here. Let's see what's going on. Yep, battery dead in it. Well, we'll have to grab another one. But anyway, so our Christmas was good. How was yours?
It was great. We my daughter just got married November 18th, so this was her first Christmas, as a married person. And they spent time at his family's house, and then after that they came over to ours, and we just had a really good Christmas with a brand new son-in-law.
Good.
And I spent the day, cooking up a really good dinner, and it was. Tamara and Sean have been together for a while, and last Christmas we actually spent some time at his family's house, and just learning, his family's traditions and the things that they do, their process of, getting up, making breakfast, doing their stockings first, then doing presents, and going around the family one present at a time, not just giving a big pile to everybody in each other. Just different people, families do it different ways. And so I've known his mom and dad. We've been friends for 15 years or so. But that was the first time we spent the
Good morning.
The
I'm
holiday
trying to get it in there. Good morning.
Yeah.
But it was great having him and her over at the house, and I was able to cook a big smoked ham and really big dinner for everybody. This year we didn't go to his family's house. I was a little incapacitated, staying, not moving around, staying at the house. And but the Christmas itself, it was great.
Yep. And that was one of the things we had with Sydney's boyfriend. His mom had passed at the beginning of the year, so it was kind of like the first Christmas without her.
Oh yeah.
And his brother went down here.
Yeah, he wasn't around his brother, so it was kind of him fitting in. So he kind of tried to. He said that they didn't do much. They just got Chinese for Christmas dinner, so we got him a box of frozen egg rolls. So I said, hey, we usually have a big dinner, but everybody snacked all day long, so it wasn't like. And then they fired up the egg rolls. We did like a huge box out of Sam's Club of egg rolls.
Okay.
And that was kind of our late night snack.
Right.
So we brought that in, and he was kind of taken back because of all the the thoughtfulness that went into the stocking and the actual gifts and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah, and he did the same thing. He was like, we don't really do stockings, but we did presents one at a time.
But
Where
he
as-
said that none of their presents were wrapped.
Yeah, none of them.
They were just sat under the tree.
Nobody would wrap them.
Oh,
So
wow.
he was like, it was
Yeah.
exciting to like unwrap them because
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know what they were.
Build up the suspense.
Yeah, so he seemed to really enjoy himself.
Yeah, because the way we do it is we do stockings first. We do it in an age order. So the youngest or the oldest first, and then trickle our way up or down. And then that's the same way we do presents. And then, so he was just kind of like excited. He opened it. He was like, these are my whiskey glasses. I can put these here. Everything. This is this. I can put this here.
Right.
Because he was trying to figure out a place to put it. So I was like, Bradley, you're funny. Because we're just like, these are the shoes I want. Awesome. This is the notebook. Yes. And he's like, Sydney, look. It's the lotion I like. It smells so good.
Yeah, he was like a kid in a candy store. It was funny.
That's awesome.
I will say he surprised me.
Yeah.
He got me. So he runs he's part of the Into the Apex podcast, and we've talked about that before. We've had him on here, and he got me an official team jersey with my name on the back, and I was like, oh wow, pretty awesome.
For the first time, he was speechless.
And I looked at I just happened while I was holding up, I saw the size, an extra large. I was like, oh man, this is, I don't know. I tried it on, fit perfect. Like if I'm having one of them days where I'm feeling bloated and a little swollen up, it's going to look like a sausage casing. But that day I was feeling good. Everything was good. I haven't been an extra large since probably the 6th grade.
Wow.
And it shows. I mean,
Where is he supposed to be at?
about 145, 140, 145. At the doctor's appointment, the weight was like 225s, and I haven't seen that since probably junior high. So I was like pleasantly surprised with that.
Yeah.
So, so then we get past Christmas, and you had
Well, I had
a
that.
shock.
I had that before Christmas.
It was right before Christmas.
Yep. Our last live was the December 18th. That Sunday we had the Christmas party, and the very next day on Monday the 19th, I was sitting down in the living room in the couch. Teresa had to work late that night. She came home, and we just, as we always do, talk about her day or my day or whatever. And I had just made a batch of deer jerky. I made 6 pounds of jerky, and I was sitting here eating a piece of jerky while me and her were talking. Then all of a sudden, my mouth went numb. It was like I took a tube of Orajel that you use for a toothache and put it in my mouth and just swished it all around. My whole entire mouth just tingling. And I thought maybe I had too much spices or something on that part of my jerky. I didn't think nothing about it. And her and I were still talking, and then all of a sudden I got deathly tired. It's like I went from being able to talk to her that I had to go to bed. And I told her that, and I said, look, son, I'm dead tired. I said, I got to go to bed. When I got up from the couch to walk from the living room to our bedroom, I was off balance and I could barely walk. But I made it to the bed, and I just laid down and fell asleep. Woke up at 4:30 in the morning to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't walk from the bedroom to the bathroom. The room was spinning and stuff, and I woke her up at 4:30 in the morning. I said, look, baby, something's wrong. I said, no, I think I need to go to the doctor. And she said, well, we'll wait till 8 o'clock whenever they open, and we'll call them. I said, I don't think I can wait. So we need to go ahead and go to the hospital. And come to find out, I had a stroke on Monday night, and I didn't realize it because I thought I had extra spices in my jerky, and my mouth went numb. And I had no explanation for the dizziness or whatever, but I should have went in right whenever the symptoms started, but not knowing what it was and not ever experiencing that before. Whenever I got to the hospital, did the EKG, Doctor came back and he didn't like what he saw. He said I need to do another EKG with dye in it this time so they can follow and trace it. And they just admitted me to the hospital, and that's where I was at for the week of Christmas. And they let me. I got home on Thursday before Christmas. And pretty much I was just stuck at the house. I could barely walk. My left leg felt like it weighed 100 pounds. Whenever the doctors were having me, doing my muscle, control and stuff, and just seeing what was going on, having me lift my legs, I could lift my right leg just fine and move it. My left leg, I could barely move an inch or so because it just felt like it weighed 100 pounds. But anyway, got home, sat down. Christmas rolled over. I wasn't able to come down here and see you or see your dad or whatever. I always try to see him before they go back up to Ohio or whatever, but I wasn't able to, and that's why I wasn't able to go to Sean's family and do the Christmas because they wanted us to be there also. But I've been healing up from that. I just went to my checkup on Wednesday. On Tuesday, the doctor gave me a clean bill of health that I could go back to work. Told me I could come back on Thursday. I sent my boss the doctor's statement and talked to him, and he told me don't even worry about it. Just go ahead and take Thursday and Friday off too, and come back Mondays. That way you can make sure you got enough rest. And tomorrow's going to be my first day back to work in 3.5 weeks.
That's good.
But luckily, all the symptoms are gone. I'm back to normal, and just a big lesson learned that when your body starts talking to you, you really need to listen.
Yep. Life's short and it's unexpected. We got to take care of ourselves. So that was a big eye opener for me because you're not much older than me.
Yeah.
And after all the shit I've been through, it's like, man, there's still a whole bunch more that we're going through. We're both diabetic, and now your heart disease or whatever you want to call it, your heart troubles is prevalent.
Yep. He showed me on the MRI results when they injected me with dye and ran me through the MRI machine, and the attack happened in what's called the pons part of your brain, PONS, and that controls motor skills, speech, balance, a bunch of stuff. And luckily, they told me that they could see no permanent damage. They could see where the attack happened, but there was no permanent damage. And after 2 days in the hospital, they said that more than likely, the way they explained it, that I had a very small portion of plaque or something in my arteries break free and travel to my brain. But it was so small that the pressure from the blood flow actually pushed it on through. It might have got lodged or stuck for a split second, but it pushed through and it did no blockage and no damage. And so I had no permanent damage from it, just a mark on the MRI. They called it a TIA. And they put me, I've been on 81 milligram aspirin. And the doctor asked me if I'm still taking it because they have a record of all my medications there at the hospital. And I said, yeah. I said, I'm supposed to have been taking that. I said, but I ran out of the 81 milligram aspirin. I said, and I just never thought about it again. I haven't taken 81 milligram aspirin in probably a year.
I just got put on it right after Christmas.
They put me on 325 milligram. They said, you're going to take this for at least a month. And then check with your primary care physician, and he'll decide whether you stay on 325 or it's okay to go ahead and go back down to 81.
Yep.
But they were telling me the importance of having that aspirin in me.
Yep. So, well, we're blessed that you're here.
Aspirin is the only medicine that can stop that can attempt to stop any heart attacks.
Yep.
As long as they can swallow them, then if you give them to aspirin, so you can say their life today.
See, I never knew that because I always knew that it was a blood thinner.
It is.
So it can be more harmful.
In some cases, like
if your arteries are full with plaque,
Okay.
it'll
break it down.
It'll thin your blood and makes. Just think if you're trying to take a garden hose
Right.
and you keep filling up the inside of walls to where that hole gets smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to take vanilla pudding and run it through that, it's going to be really hard. But if you
Right.
pour a glass of water through it, it's going to run through fine.
Right.
So that's going to help your blood flow through if you start having plaque buildup.
Got it. Okay.
I go back to the doctor on January 23rd, which is my birthday, and he's going to decide whether I need to go in and have whatever the test is called, where they go in and look at your arteries and stuff to check how much plaque and buildup is in.
Yep.
And see if I possibly need a stent or something. But I go there on the January 23rd. And something else I didn't know, the episode that happened in my brain, if that blockage happens in your brain, it's called a stroke. If it happens in your chest, it's called a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that differs is it can take 2.3, maybe 2.7 seconds to differ if it's a stroke or a heart attack. Because that's how fast your blood is.
Yep. So that was
A huge piece.
a good blessing that he came out of that okay. So we're going to continue to pray that we get him. We got to keep him going to the doctor and stuff.
Yeah.
Dutchy, friend of mine, had a quadruple bypass just before Christmas. Ooh. Well, what's ironic is I went to the cardiologist right before New Year's. So then we went to the oncologist and did my last infusion. He read the scans, everything was clear.
Peyton.
He said we're going to do this last infusion,
It'll wash off.
and then we'll see you in 3 months.
I just put Abby's white.
So that was another blessing that I'm non-detected, and we're in surveillance mode now.
Got an awesome little video of you ringing the bell.
Yep. The young lady said, "Well, hey, this is your last treatment. You get to ring the bell." And I was like, "Really? Hell yeah!" So she said the other bell. I mean, I was way back in the back room, so she brought me the little portable bell, and I got a little 4-second video ringing the bell after my last treatment. So huge relief, exciting because I'm tired of being sick. But the infusion though is I still had to do one, and I'm still feeling the effects of that. So when I go out and do yard work like I did yesterday, I tend to overdo it, and I overdid it, and I ache and I hurt and I'm tired. But I'm okay with that because mentally I can't begin to tell you guys how much it helped my mental status to get outside, one, and do something that is, you can see a difference. You know, like I was telling my dad last night, I was like, you can get out, you can get up and go do the dishes. You go take a nap, you come back, the dang sink's full. So you do laundry. I don't do the laundry, but you could. And
I was like, that's not right.
as soon as somebody brings clothes in from the room, boom, you're messed up again. So it was great to see this, and yeah, Dutchy, you're talking about the barbecue shack. That's been something we've talked about for years.
Yep.
And one of the big things was that area floods when it rains. So I got to get that draining right, and to be able to move forward with something like that, put up a tent or a canopy or something, and start doing that.
Yeah.
But
I was fighting with him, and I cut down a branch that I thought that needed to be cut because it was super long and hanging down a lot. And he goes, "I like that branch," and I said, "Well, I want you to sit on. I guess we both not get what we want."
yeah, the one branch that had a whole bunch of green on it, I wanted to keep. She cut it down, but so that was a great visit with the oncologist. The infusion went great. The nurse had just a tad bit of trouble finding the vein, and my skin's getting tough. So when they poke that needle in, boy, it hurts. And but she was pretty nice and didn't hurt me too bad. Then we went to the cardiologist. She was like, for everything that you've been through, this thing looks great. My heart looked good. Didn't have no issues. She kind of mentioned about getting out and doing some exercising, not being stagnant. And I was like, nope, I get up every day. I can't sit more than an hour. So I have to get up and walk or do something. And she's like, great. She said, in the next 3 months, whenever I see you back, I'd like to see you add in a little bit of walking. So I started taking the dogs for a walk. Well, okay, I take it back. I took them for a short walk, and then came back, and then we got a bunch of rain. And then the next day, I took them out and we did a mile walk. Boy, let me tell you what, that wore me out. But we did a mile walk, and then we got a bunch of rain, and we haven't been back out since.
Yeah, Teresa told me I need to come down here to the house, and me and you stand. She described it as stay and leave your house on your sidewalk, take a left and walk all the way around, cross the street, walk all the way around through your whole neighborhood, back around and end across the street from your house, and then come back here and make one loop for us to do some walking.
Yep. So what I do,
I wonder how long that is.
Well, so what we do is we'll come out here, go down to the stop sign, walk all the way down right there by the church, and go down this way to the driveway.
Right.
And then come back up and go through the parking lot all the way to that stop sign. And then turn around and come back. That's a mile.
Yeah.
So in my house, we leave my back deck, cross my neighbor's yard, go to the back road, walk all the way down that back road to the cul-de-sac, walk all the way around, and then back around to my back deck, and that's 1 mile.
So we'll be incorporating some more walks and stuff like that with the pups. And I don't know who was breathing harder, me or the dog, because he's been cooped up for a while, and
he's getting
getting old.
Age just like Pop said.
The one thing that was interesting, the cardiologist told me, she said, when they go through their schooling, they're told that anybody who's diagnosed and goes through treatments, any kind of cancer treatment, their body ages at least 10 years. So my body's telling me not only has it been beat up through the years, but now after these treatments and stuff, I'm 10 years older than what I really am. So, and I tell you what, I feel it. But that was great news.
Your porch smells good.
We go into New Year's.
Yep.
Mom's sister and brother-in-law were in, or my sister-in-law and brother-in-law were in. And brother-in-law and his nephew. So that family came in. Dutchie 21. Now I think I might be 35. Because I've been 25 for I don't know how long.
20 years.
Honey Badger, good morning, buddy. How you doing, bud?
35 for
Good morning. So yeah, I might be 35 now. But we get into New Year's. We had a pretty good New Year's, except for my buddy Brian and Jen came over. We watched the Buckeyes game.
Don't even talk about it.
Buckeyes Georgia game. That was a great game. Great game. I was torn with the game before because Teton was playing TCU, and I wanted Teton to do good as far as the Big Ten goes, but I didn't want Teton to do good because they're Teton. So it was kind of a.
Now you told me a couple weeks ago. What is Teton again?
The team of North.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's Michigan.
Yep.
Okay.
It was a good game.
I was looking and I was like, I want to eat this Whoopie's. And I was like, that looks pink. So I kept them on the grill while I was temping them, so they're all raw.
What?
So when I temped them, they were still on the heat. So they read 140, 150. Now on the plate, they're reading 117.
Well, that means you pushed the needle too far
Yeah.
through when you were registering the heat from the platter.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, what are you doing? Yeah, the last 30 seconds, the wife was torn. She wanted to watch the ball drop on Dick Clark's, and we ended up waiting and watching the blunder of a field goal. That guy, he didn't even, I don't even think it was even close. He was so wide left, I don't even know,
It looked
man.
like I kicked the field goal.
It was terrible. That was the worst field goal I think I've seen kicked since we went and visited the college the College Hall of Fame there in Atlanta. And you can walk down in there and get down on the 30-yard line and kick.
Mark's kick was good.
Yeah.
Mark was the only one.
But,
No.
it given what it was, the pressure, I don't know. It was a good game. It was a real good game. We really, I enjoyed it. It was tough. I don't know. I'm still speechless. James, we're making Cubanos.
New Year's Eve, me and Teresa, we were in bed 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. We didn't.
Oh. Yeah, we threw up a little charcuterie board and just kind of snacked. And Brian and Jen came over, and they brought a spin dip and some crackers and whatnot. And great time though. We had a good time with some good friends, which is what mattered.
Driving here to your house this morning, I think it was the second time I've driven since I've been out of the hospital. But if I'm going back to work tomorrow, I'm going to have to be driving. So.
Yep. Let's see. So
Maybe take it off.
Well, I'm going inside.
all
I was
right.
like, that was really quick. 30 minutes
So
for an entire half court one?
better than oatmeal. He says, "Ooh, sounds good. I'm starving. Better than oatmeal that he's having." Well, so I was talking to a guy that I was working with, and him and I we've been working together for a long time, and he'd always encourage me to write a cookbook. Put your stuff down. So I was going through, and I'm like, most of the stuff's kind of on the same line for the last 4 years. It's ribs, Boston butts, some brisket, chicken wings. So I was like, oh. So I had the girls go through and, hey, tell me what you want to see written out. So, heaven forbid, if something happens, they've got the recipe written out in a form. So that might be something we're going to work on here after a while, is working on just writing stuff down.
Yep. Teresa and the kids been telling me that for years too.
So the girls actually sat out here in the garage on the floor New Year's while we were in there screaming and hollering at the game. They sat out here and just listen to music and BS with their friends.
Yeah, that was a fun game because y'all know Abby. She
can't lie.
She's very competitive, so she wanted to play BS, and so I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this game, and so I
didn't know that was the actual game we were playing. I
didn't know that was a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically
So
you get 2 decks of cards, shuffle them together, you equally distribute them between how many players you have, and then you go in order. Like, I have 2 aces. I have 4 2s.
And if anyone wants to say, if they say I have 1 8 and you have all the 8s, you can say BS and they have to take all the cards.
If they lied about it, they take all the cards.
I got some antivirus thing
Yeah, I
come up.
know. That's been popping up for the last week.
I don't know how to get rid of it.
You go like this, and you press this X.
Oh, okay.
It's as simple as that.
Okay. Well, I didn't see an X to get rid of it, so okay.
Yeah, I found that out too.
Okay.
But yeah, so we played that game for a day or two, and then, so our friend Josh came over, and he's been on the live before. You guys have seen him. So he comes over and we play the game with him. Well, me and him usually go into standoffs where we lie to each other. I'm like, you can either call me and take this deck, or you'll let me go. And so I said, like, I have the last 4, and I laid the 4s down. He goes, no, you don't. And then I was like, so he calls it, and I'm like, dang it, I lost. He had the last 4 in his hand. And I was like, oh, man, that sucks. But it's a good game. We played that a lot. We played Spoons with Mom. That was fun. That was funny.
Oh, so for Christmas, the kids got beer pong. So
Me and Grandpa unmatched.
now we didn't actually put beer in the cups. We
It was
just
water pong.
used water.
It was water pong.
But we got
I convinced Gramps to do it.
Bradley made Grandpa an old fashioned or two, and then I convinced Grandpa to get in there and play.
So it was
He actually was better than what he thought he was going to be.
It was me and Gramps versus Bradley and Peyton.
Now, mind you, me and Abby had gone to Sydney and Bradley's like in the middle of July last year. And we kicked their behind because Bradley can't shoot for nothing. Well, so I was like, you know what, Bradley, I'll take you in. We'll do it. So we win the first 2 rounds. Well, then we go up to Grandpa and I'm like, okay, Nolan can't shoot worth a full. So that's great. I was like, Grandpa, I don't know. So he just sits there and he goes, can we bounce? I'm like, no. So first shot, boom, sinks it. Next shot, misses. Next shot, sinks it. And it went, he's just like Pop. Pop did the same thing. We're like, oh yeah, let's play. And he goes, makes it in. Almost hits Bradley's cup. So
yeah, so Bradley was holding his whiskey glass with his old fashioned in it. I threw it at that. Instead of throwing it at the cups on the table, I was throwing it at him holding a cup.
So if it gets in your drink, you have to chug the drink. And he had an old fashioned. So we all were like, oh no.
So what is the old fashioned?
It's like a whiskey with some bitters and ice.
Oh, so it's actually liquor. Then.
Yeah.
So it was me and Gramps versus Peyton and Bradley, and then me and Gramps versus Sydney and Abby. And then at one point it was Peyton and Bradley versus me and Sydney.
So James, did you get any new cast iron for Christmas? So you said you're rearranging your racks. I was actually blessed with 2 pieces of new cast iron. I got the oldest and her boyfriend were at in Bradley. I should just start calling him Bradley. They went to a race up in was it New York?
Georgia?
No, they went to one north, and they stopped in Amish country in Pennsylvania. And at the Amish store, they got me a pecan something jelly or jam, which was pretty damn good. And they got me a square griddle pan, cast iron griddle pan. So that was pretty cool. What'd you do? Touch your finger?
No, I was biting my fingernail.
Oh. And so that was pretty cool. So it's an old mountain. So it's not a lodge or anything like that. It's a old mountain's a Chinese made, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's gonna be a great skillet. I can tell. It's a square griddle pan. And then the kids, they listened and they got me the
more like, because this is what I would really
Dad
love this
put
for
this in a
Christmas.
group chat. Says this is what I want for Christmas.
And
Just
we're like,
saying.
And we're
But
like,
the
okay.
last time he did that,
he bought it
he
himself.
bought it himself.
I didn't do that this time.
We told you not to. We said if we get you this, you cannot buy it.
they got me the skull. Oh my goodness, the skull muffin pan from Lodge.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's over here. We're gonna have to get that cleaned up. So
Because we literally said, "Okay, Dad, we hear you." Last Christmas, when he sent us what he wanted, we had it in our cart, and Mom goes, "Hey, don't get that." Dad
He just bought it.
So, and we all started cussing like Dad out in the group chat. We were mad.
Yep. So
Well, Teresa actually bought me some cast iron actually yesterday.
really,
Yep. She got me a cast iron heart-shaped skillet.
Yep.
And
the little one.
yeah, it's probably.
Yep.
Probably,
I've got one hanging up back there. I think.
Yeah, that's probably
Not that
the
side.
same one, but it came with a kit. We were at Lidl grocery
Yep.
shopping, and it came with a pancake mix or something.
Yep.
But she said that she wanted me to make her some heart-shaped pancakes. I said, "Oh, so you buying this for me or buying it for you?"
Both.
That's a cute little $7 pan or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah. I got a couple of them. I made a video on it a while back, and I actually had guys, fathers, who had commented that they were so glad that I had the video up because they ripped open the package and threw away the instructions on how to make the pancake mix.
Oh.
So the little video was making cleaning up the pan, getting it ready, and then using it, and so these dads were like, "You just saved my day." Like they're young kids that are like 3 or 4, whatever, really wanted these heart-shaped pancakes,
Right.
whatever. So that was pretty neat to get those. And I've gotten some pretty cool comments from older videos lately, so it's
He was at college this week.
Yep. So Pay's getting ready to go back next week.
So this first semester was a huge change, and I now know what not to do and what to do. Like actually go to tutoring centers and actually trying. Because in high school I didn't have to try. I was just good at school, and now I have to try. And so I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like show up to class. So now I have a morning schedule, so I've been trying to get that under control. But when I wake up, I just kind of lay in bed till I want to do anything. But when I have class at 9 o'clock in the morning across the way, I can't do that anymore. But most of the freshmen in my class, of the 1,000 roughly, either is not coming back. There's a portion that are not coming back, and there's a portion that if they don't do well this semester, they can't come back. And I'm one of those people. But most of my friend group is the people that can't come back this semester. And I'll have one that can come back. And so I'm like,
Did you get put on academic probation or something?
academic warning.
Mm.
So it's just like a, hey, fix yourself, bro.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was on academic probation, so I know what you're talking about.
Well, instead of academic probation, there's academic suspension.
See,
So
I think
it goes from warning to suspension.
I think she told me this, and it didn't sink in. But when Grandpa said it,
then
I was mad, and I don't know why.
I was like, you know what? Because I told them both, and I said, Grandpa, I just got this email, huh? And then I didn't hear anything about it. I kept talking, but
I was also focused on his phone.
He didn't pay attention to it, and I was like, okay. Well, Grandpa slipped because I hadn't talked to Mom all day because she's been out, and I didn't want to spill the beans like that in front of everybody. So we get back, and Grandpa goes, yeah, you're on academic probation. And I'm like, and I just go, here, what? And Dad puts his head around me. I was like, Dad, you're not supposed to act like this.
Yeah, she'd probably told me. I just didn't pay attention. But
and Grandpa goes, oh, I didn't know.
So James, man, you made out like a little bandit.
Anytime I could throw Grandpa under, I did. He said, you throw me under the bus? I said, Grandpa, you threw me under a train.
Yeah. Yeah, Grandpa come back later on after you hightailed it. He said, well, I didn't mean to cause a stir. I was like, no, don't worry about it.
I was like, it's all right.
So James got the Lodge bun pan, the sugar skull pan, the skull muffin pan, a Piqua favorite bread roll pan, and he won a number 8 Black Lock
Oh, whoa.
off a YouTube channel. Wow.
You made it like a bandit.
Yeah, you did. I haven't seen that bump pan. They had, when Lodge had come out and re-released it. I was up at the Concord store in Charlotte, North Carolina, or Concord, Charlotte, whatever you want to call it. And they had it, and it was like $60-some, and I was like, I don't really bake. What would I use it for? And of course, my wife's like, no, you don't need cake. I'm like, all right, I don't need cake. So I didn't get it. And then I went back up another time, and I was like, I'm going to get it today. I think I walked out with a different skillet. So.
My gift for Christmas this year, I got me a 24-inch outdoor charcoal stand-up rotisserie.
Yeah, that look nice.
Haven't got to put it together, but whenever we put it together, it was missing the handle. The 24-inch rod is threaded at the other end, and there's a handle that's supposed to screw onto it, and that wasn't in the box. So I already called them, and this should be here sometime this week. But
so we'll do a little shout out because poor guy with the Blackstone has one of those, and he did a video on it, a couple videos on it, where he did chickens. He did the unboxing, and then kind of like the walkthrough, and then he put chicken on it. So poor guy in the Blackstone, Rob. Yep.
So where else did everybody have?
I was on the Blackstone last night. Made a big chicken and shrimp hibachi style dinner with the fried rice and the vegetables and the zucchini, squash, onions, all that stuff. And Tamara and Sean came over. You can really feed a lot of people with that type of a meal.
Yep.
And I probably had $45 in all the ingredients. But if you can feed, 5 people and have a whole day's worth of leftovers for $45, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. So what other news we got?
No
Trying to think.
one asked how the rest of your week's been.
Like, what y'all got going on this?
What you
Oh,
did
this coming week?
Yeah.
No appointments. Great.
First week.
So last week or the week before? Last week. Mom and I recorded our first podcast and actually got it put up on Anchor and Spotify. So what we decided to do was we're going to kind of go back and recap our journey, kind of like symptoms, what we went through, the stress, all that stuff. Kind of it'll do 2, probably more than 2, but the 2 main things for why we're doing it is, one, to give somebody an inside look to everything that goes on when you get diagnosed, and
maybe make it easier for someone who's going through it right now.
Yep. Somebody that is newly diagnosed to understand kind of what to look for, what we went through as far as how everything went with us, and I forgot what I was saying, but and to get it off our chest, to kind of help us get through it, if that makes sense. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
To kind of help us heal mentally through it, so we're not carrying this stress baggage. So, but it's called Black Ribbon Warrior, and it's on Spotify and Anchor. We got 1 episode up. I thought it went pretty well. We crammed a lot of stuff into it.
Yeah.
But it was our journey from December 2020 up to August 21.
It was July.
Huh?
Right?
No, he got.
Oh, it is.
So the brains, we got right up to radiation, which was
Yeah.
the end of July, beginning of August.
Okay, yeah.
So we covered that, and we got to record the next the next one, which is going to go through radiation and all that stuff. And I'll be honest, for me, I was just a zombie. I was just there. So the wife really gets in and talks about, her feelings, where she was at, like her side of the whole story. And, we get how she's got to talk to the kids. And, we're talking, we're going to try to get the kids on and have them talk about it. Their points of view or whatever. So that's been really cool. Big step for us. So we'll have that coming up. We'll have episode 2 coming up. Probably this coming week.
New Year's resolutions. Anybody have a New Year's resolution?
I don't do that.
Man, with the Lord on my side, I don't need resolutions. I put everything in that, and I tell you what, I'm blessed, and I say it every morning. Every time I get out of bed, whether it's a nap or, but about time I put my feet on the ground, whether it's getting out of bed in the morning or after a nap. Thank you, Lord. Blessed to have another day.
How did you do this?
I mean, I know what I got to do. No, I don't have to make a resolution. I mean, I need to start really paying attention to what I eat and work on losing weight and getting better health. But, I mean, I know that every year. I know that every day of my life.
Yep.
But now, after going through this stroke a couple weeks ago, it really makes a little bit of a difference. You know how serious it really is.
Yeah, for me, it made a lot of difference. With all the diabetic stuff that you've had, I mean, I'm right behind you. And that's some scary, scary stuff. And so, look, going forward, I mean, we're going to be doing more kind of healthier, lower carb stuff, because cancer cells feed on sugar, and right now in my self-destruction period, that's all that sounds good.
Right.
That's all that sounds good. So it's a big battle mentally, and because I've changed in the self-destruction is more from drinking lots of beer and moonshine to sugar. And so I'm really, really focusing on cutting that out. And with all the sweets we've had since Thanksgiving, it's been terrible. So getting that out, keeping the low carb stuff going. So, trying to keep that stuff going. Mental health is going to be a big one this year. Doing things to get outside, to do more things instead of coming up with excuses why not to. Trying to come up with excuses to.
Right.
And that's been one of the things, kind of was driving factor yesterday when getting out there and doing this was it felt good. Mentally, it felt good. I didn't have a radio on. I didn't have a headset on. I was just me and a rake and my hedge clippers and a shovel and just hand tools. And
I will say, like, seeing him, like, he's a little country boy, okay? He thrives outside and thrives doing yard work, and he's probably doing yard work 4 times this week.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
last week I went out and I picked up I took my bucket, my little grippers, and I picked up pine cones out of the front yard. For all you that don't know, the side of my house is nothing but pine trees that separates the sidewalk from the house. And then we have pine trees that I grew from any little bitty sprouts that along the backyard there where we had our videos.
He got a little emotional yesterday about that because I cut one of the branches. He goes, "No, not that one! I grew that one from when it was itty bitty."
So when we first moved in the house, was it 12 years ago?
07.
07.
I think, right?
that spot where those
07.
trees.
10.
It was 10 because 07 when we moved to Rock Hill.
Right,
Here
so
had
it's
the
10.
apartment.
So 13 years ago. Well, 12 and a half. Anyway, that where those trees are now in the backyard, it used to be just a dirt hill, and that was it. There was no trees at all.
Mhm.
And for the first year, I cut that and just cut it because it would grow, and the HOA wouldn't cut it. So if I didn't cut it, then it would just look like a tall grass mess. And well, the one day I was out cutting, and I push mow. So I was out cutting, and I noticed this. I said, well, it looks like a little pine sprout. It was about 6 inches tall, and I left it go. And, here we are 12 and a half years later, and these dudes are, what? Well, they're taller than our 2-story house.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty big. And
So
it was,
it was like a block for a long time. So I never touched it with the mower or nothing. I went right by it, and that was it. But we finally cleared it out, and I now can see like what I could see like 10 years ago through the trees.
Yep.
Because that used to be our little hideaway.
I don't
We
do
ducking
pine
in and out,
trees.
and
I like looking at them, but once I'm around them for so long, I get like.
well, you're
You're
allergic to everything outside,
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
mine.
so it was nice yesterday to get out mentally. My dad, I was talking to him last night, and he was like, "You're gonna hurt tomorrow," and I said, "I have no plans for the next 3 days." But I'll tell you what,
It's gonna take Dad 4 days.
my mind is clear. My mind feels good.
As long as he gets up every day and goes on a walk,
Yep.
he won't feel the sore next day.
Well, I'm working that in. I'm working the walking in. The hard part is I still got the effects from the drugs. I mean, the infusion. So still droggy, and I'm still tired. And I wake up and I thank the Lord, and I say, "What are we doing today?" And I come down the stairs excited. I make coffee. I put the dogs out, and then I'm zapped.
Yeah.
There's my energy level. So, but I did finish 2 books this last couple weeks. So that's a huge accomplishment for me.
It is.
I got to tell you, I was reading that. So Cy Robertson, with the Duck Dynasty guys, he put out a book several years ago called Cyology 101. And I don't know if Cub read it. Did you? So it's a really interesting book because it starts out and he starts talking about growing up with his brothers and sisters, and tells little stories that he remembers, and his mom and dad, and all the way up through high school, going to college, and then going to the military, and then it goes into all his military stuff, Vietnam, telling stories, and she handles those tongs like a pro. The one story though, towards the end of the book, I had to laugh, and I told my dad, and I thought he was going to pee his pants. He was laughing so hard. So Cy says he was with a guy, one of his buddies, and they were in Nam, and they were supposed to be going to deliver something to another base. They're riding through the jungle, and the rainstorm comes in really bad. So they're riding through this jungle, and all of a sudden, knock on the window. And he said, "What in the world?" And he looks at his buddy, and he said, "Well, answer it." And he rolls down his window, and there's a Vietnamese guy there. And he goes, "I don't know if it was just a guy that was walking or if it was one of the Viet Congs." He said, "But I didn't know." And I said, "What you need?" He said, "You got a cigarette?" He goes, "I looked at my buddy," and he said, "Well, give him one." So I gave him a cigarette, rolled the window up. My buddy floored it. He said, "We're running like 60 through the jungle. We're cruising." All of a sudden, I get another tap on the window. "What in the world?" My buddy said, "Well, answer it." Roll it down. It's the same guy. He says, "What do I do?" And he said, "What you need?" And the guy says, "I need a light." So I said, I looked at my buddy, and my buddy said, "Well, give him a light." So he goes, I gave him a lighter. He lit his cigarette. I rolled my window up and said, "Get out of here. We're going to die." So he floors it. He goes, we're running 90 through the jungle, right? We're flying through this thing. The only thing we're seeing is the wipers. I mean, we're flying. Same guy. He goes, I looked over at my buddy, and he said, well, answer. He goes, it's the same guy. How in the heck's he doing this? So he rolls down the window and goes, yeah, what you need? And he goes, you need help getting out of the mud? I thought, okay, I laughed harder last night, but it was pretty funny.
When you came over to my house
Friday.
night, you saw the ruts I had in my front yard.
Yeah.
My son's one of his best friends come over and got his Jeep stuck in my front yard.
Hang on,
It's like, how do you get a Jeep
and get
stuck?
stuck in mud?
And well, it was a rear wheel drive. Nothing offensive, not trying to be mean, but it was a lady's Jeep. It was 2-wheel drive, not 4. There was no tow package, no trailer hitch, no tow hooks, nothing. And it was, whenever he got stuck, it was like 11 o'clock at night. And it was right, I mean, you know how my yard holds water. And he was in like 6-8 inches of water in my front yard. And I told him, I said, look, stop digging, hitting the gas, digging the ruts. Just come here tomorrow and I'll hook up my truck because I got 4-wheel driving, 30-foot tow ropes. I said, we'll get it out. And, well, he ends up calling AAA, and they come to my house, and he has to pay money to get all of his car pulled out and all. But whenever his Jeep got pulled out, the ruts from where he kept trying to go forward and backward were just ridiculous in my yard.
And see, we grew up with snow, up in Ohio. We had so much snow that, if you stick a piece of plywood underneath that tire, if it's rear wheel, you stick it underneath the back end so it spins and picks up and goes.
Yeah, I heard you stick I got a sheet of plywood that's like 3 foot by 3 foot. It's just a spare piece. Stuck it underneath there, tire spin, shot it out like a frisbee.
Yep. Well, you can't get on it. You gotta kind of ease it back, rock it forward, ease it back up on. Anyway, wife and I were talking about that, and she's like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yep." So I was telling her about it, and she was like, "We grew up where we grew up. When we got snow, and drifting was a big thing because the wind would blow across the field, and you get piles of snow. And I mean, we've been through snow over your bumper. Just you might have a 4 or 5 foot patch that's above the bumper of the car,
right? And
you're in a front wheel drive, and you just. But what kind of griddle is that, James? That is a Camp Chef griddle. It came with the 2-burner stove. I really like that one. That's what's keeping me from getting a Blackstone. Yeah. Because it does the job. It takes a little bit longer to do, to feed the family of 4 or 5 or 6, however many is here. Yeah. But it does a job, and it came with I already have it, so it works just fine.
Yep.
Good morning, Stephen and Jacqueline. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, we talk about me bringing my Blackstone down quite often, but that's a lot of work to go through for something, for just something simple that we can do on that.
Morning, Stephen, brother. Yeah. And I keep looking at them, and I keep saying, I've got this, like if I got a 17-inch, that way I could travel with it.
Right.
But then I'm like, I have this 2-burner stove.
So you can travel with it.
Yeah, that I can travel with. Yes, it's a little bit bigger and a little more cumbersome, but it would give me, I can make coffee on it and everything. So,
kind of hard to validate the cost of a new unit whenever you've got something that does it.
It does everything. And if I needed to, I could put I got a second griddle plate, because it's yours, that I can put on the other side.
You got 2 more burners, too.
And I got another burner, yeah.
Because they're mine.
Daddy Dutch, what's going on, Kent? Happy New Year to everybody.
We picked those up a couple years ago at Cabela's, didn't we?
Yeah, they were on markdown.
Markdown for like $60.
Yeah. What's going on, Kent? How you doing?
I remember both of us, after we got them, sitting in the car, wanting to know how we're going to bring it to the wives whenever we walk in the house.
Yeah, Mama wasn't happy, but I saved more than I spent, and that's kind of how I got away with it.
Yeah.
But Stephen, we got some Cubanos sandwiches going.
I start my auditing class on Monday.
Yep, her auditing class.
Oh, you go back to school starting Monday?
No, I went back Thursday.
She's doing it online, right?
No.
Or not online, you're doing college stuff?
No.
You start your job Monday.
Oh, I heard auditing class.
That's what I heard too.
Auditing. I am auditing a class. I am sitting in a classroom learning without getting credit, without taking the exam.
Yeah.
Auditing.
Oh. See, I was like,
That's what auditing is.
I heard like auditing, like audioing. That's what I heard. And I was like,
No.
audio class? I didn't even know you were taking that.
No. Because I only have one class this semester. This way it doesn't make Dad's brain rattle. What time do I have to go? What time do I
Yep.
pick
I already
up?
got my alarm set to make sure
So
that I can
this
get you there and back.
This way, it's the exact same schedule as last semester.
We're
So he
going
doesn't have
to
stress that.
Cub's starting her job
I start that Monday.
Monday, so that'll be nice. The 4-burner griddle. Oh, Kent says their Sam's Club. He's up in Iowa. Has a 4-burner griddle on clearance for $169.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, the Members Mark unit is a really good unit.
Yeah, I don't see many people use it on YouTube. I see a couple of them here and there. They do an unboxing and then, they might do a cook or two on it. But most of the people that I've watched don't use that one. I don't because they get the Blackstone or whatever.
A lot of people
And
go
it's a
for
36 inch.
a lot of people go for the brand name, but whether you have a Camp Chef, a Pit Boss, even though the Pit Bosses are ceramic coated, it's not like a cast iron griddle top or a rolled steel griddle top. Still, I mean, you can't really sit here and say one is better than the other. They all do the exact same thing.
I can't.
Yep.
So there's
Yeah.
no reason at all why to choose especially a $169 36 inch Members Mark over a black. I mean, there's no reason not to pick that over a Blackstone.
Yeah.
Just because of the name, because
Yeah.
it's a good quality piece of equipment.
Well, and the Pit Boss, I mean, I joined the group because my man Tommy from the Backyard Gallery sent me an invite, and I joined the group, and it's a nice group. It really is on Facebook, and it's the Pit Boss thing, and you start hearing people having trouble with the ceramic coat, just like you did the Blackstone
Right,
E-Series.
E-Series.
And my dad bought one, and he enjoys it. The oldest one's got the one that I bought a couple years ago, and she doesn't use it as much, and Dad doesn't use it as much. But when they do use it, they like it. They don't have any trouble with it. So, yeah, James, we'll probably put something together. We'll see it this. We're going to see the Members Mark at the campground this summer. All right. Look forward to that. What you need, Pay?
Fresh.
Right there.
Maggie has her knee surgery January 24th.
Okay.
The day after my birthday.
Yep.
I'm gonna be 53.
Trying 53. My body's older than that now. Wow. I feel like something else came up last week, but I don't know what it was. Mama got a new job Friday, so that's pretty cool. She'll be starting that in about 3 weeks. So she's had to put in her notice at her current place.
But her current place still was like, if you want a job here and do this, you can have it.
Yeah.
You're one of the best people we have.
Well, then she wasn't leaving for another clinic. She's leaving for another position that she's currently been going to school for. So what you guys probably don't know is during all my treatments and all that stuff, Mama went back to school.
Yep. And
she's going to school for HR work. and so it's a completely different field from her,
Current position.
physical therapy assistant. So she's just started her last semester of school, and I starts Monday, but she started doing homework yesterday. So she'll be starting in HR. So her boss was like, "Oh, so you're not leaving for the clinic? If you want to keep on a couple kids to work on around, still in town to keep up with everything." So she might do that. I don't know. That way she keeps her license valid and keeps up with training. And then if this thing doesn't work out, then she could have that to fall back on.
Right.
But it offers more stability,
More benefits.
Guaranteed hours, which is
a big thing for us. And because morbidly, we got to think about if things were to go south and I'm not here, she's got to be able to take care of herself and in the house and the kids, and she can't be doing that while going through more trauma.
Yep.
So we're pushing her to get, not pushing.
We're suggesting.
We're encouraged. It's encouraged that she's doing this and she wants to do it. So that's where that's at.
And at the age that we are getting now, it's something that we have to think about.
Yeah.
And especially with our health situation the way it is now.
Right.
I mean, I've sat down and talked with Teresa in, let's say, just the last 2 weeks or so since my stroke. And it's like, we need to really start talking about this.
Yeah.
And one of the questions that they asked me at the hospital was, do you have a last will and testament? It's like, no, I don't. And they said, you really need to start thinking about it.
Yep. We had to get one before my brain surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And, just because. And what was it? I went in for I think it was a CAT scan the one time, and they had me fill one out. I said, you're just putting me you're just doing an x-ray. Come on now. But, I don't know.
No, they didn't call it last will and testament. They called it living will, I think.
Yeah, your living will. Basically, it's
Same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
pretty much. Basically, it's going to be like
If I die,
if they have to pull the plug on you.
Right.
who do you want to do it?
Yeah. Well, who does if you can't consciously make decisions, who's the one to fall back on?
Right.
So, but, yep. Let's see. So let's see. The Bengals play the Ravens today, and the Panthers play the Saints.
Yep.
Ought to be a good games. Good games.
Since the Panthers lost last week, I don't see any reason at all for a single starter to play today. There's no reason. You need to let the second and third stringers have an opportunity to show off and showcase their skills.
Because they're not going to be in the playoffs.
Exactly. There's nothing they can do. There's no reason for a starter to get hurt for a pointless game. Let the second strings and third strings show what they got.
Well, what it's going to come down to is because this coach is an interim coach, he's not the actual head coach.
Right.
He needs that win so he can say I won this many games to keep him in the running. Because I've been seeing it all over the place that Jim Harbaugh, the head coach for Teton, is being sought after for the Panthers, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really like Jim Harbaugh at all.
Is he not a good coach?
I don't think he is, but I didn't like Tom Brady because he went to Teton. I still don't like Tom Brady.
I don't like Tom Brady either.
But
I'm not going to say I like him. I definitely respect him. He's one of the best that's ever played the game. But I mean, he's also got a very entitled attitude towards himself and towards life.
Very much.
And I mean, I don't like that, but that doesn't diminish his talents. I mean, he is an extremely talented quarterback.
He is. He is extremely talented. I just don't like him, but that's fine. Prepping a pork butt for supper. Hopefully celebrate the Packers win tonight. Well, good luck to you, Kent. Who did they with the Packers are playing the Lions, I think, right? The Bengals game last Monday night. Man, that was tough. DeMar Hamilton.
Got hurt real bad.
Yeah, I've been kind of keeping up with it, and they said he's
recovering.
Yeah, he's breathing on his own now, and everything's good. So, or better. The thing that kind of hit home with me is he's 24 years old, man.
I know.
That's the age of my oldest kid, so that's crazy. And that's what was hard for me was, and we've seen. It reminded me of the time when the Buckeyes were playing Penn State and the kid got smashed, and they brought the cart out and had to lift him off, and he ended up being paralyzed from the neck down.
Yeah.
And he spent like 2 months in Columbus before they could even transport him back to Penn State. So that was kind of hard. And I know there was a post about the guy who was in racing who died in a snowmobile accident.
Oh yeah.
And the Todd with Greenhorn Barbecue, he had said nobody was talking about that. Well, and I told him I looked it up. I'm not into the racing, so I wouldn't know. And it wasn't as publicized as DeMar, because DeMar was one NFL and two Monday Night Live, Monday Night Football Live. So,
and with that, it's a lot of that is also extremely common. If that, like, a lot of the times with what happened, because he was down for a while.
Yeah.
There's a medical term for it, but the most common name, what do you want to call it, a name for it, is sudden cardiac arrest. There's how medical terms are, but this is a different one. But
she had medical terminology last semester.
No, I had sports medicine.
Sports medicine.
I had medical terminology this summer. But as long as the athletic trainers can get to them in time, they have a high chance of
success.
They said they did the chest compressions for 9 minutes, and that he's suffering several. They didn't say how many. They just said several cracked ribs.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine the pain trying to simply breathe?
Because
it's insane. Because
a lot of the time, the easiest way to get them back within a shorter time span, like a shorter reaction time, is a lot of places that have the expenses to get an AED. They use those because those are basically gonna shock you.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad he's doing better.
Oh, definitely.
And I don't know if anybody else saw what's his name, Kyle Renner, the guy that played Hawkeye with the Marvel guy.
He got really bad snow.
He got a snow plowing accident.
Yeah.
Where I think the plow ran over him.
Yeah.
It flipped completely over him.
When you said Hawkeye, I was thinking MASH. I didn't know what you're talking about.
With the Marvel
I
universe.
want to say that I read that he broke all 12 of his ribs here.
Ooh.
I'm dropping so much stuff today, if that makes sense. Ow.
But he broke the true ribs. He didn't break the floating of the
Yeah.
ribs.
So definitely some people to hold up in your prayers if you're praying or whatever.
Yeah, there's been a lot of just medical stuff going around this year already.
Yep.
Already, so this is gonna be a rough. I don't want to say rough year, but it'll be a challenging one.
I know one of my friends that I classes with last semester, it was last year. He is actually able to come back to class. He was in a very, very bad accident. It was a 4-car pileup. And he broke a lot of the bones in his neck and broke all of his ribs, a lot of his ribs actually. And he now has a incision going across here, one going from the top of his cranium down to where the spine meets. Like that first vertebrae that you can feel. He had his whole demeanor changes.
Something like that can change your whole life.
Yes.
He walks with his head down. He has more of a stutter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very good friends with his twin brother. And he's like, the amount of speech therapy that he has to go through, and he can't get it. Like, he can't grasp it. So
It's hard.
Well, I'm glad that I have a class with him now. I'm glad that I get to see and help him every day.
Right.
He's a great kid. He makes a lot of dumb, poor decisions, but he's a great kid.
Broken ribs sucked when I had my accident in September. The ribs were broke, hurt the worst than shattering my arm. Yeesh.
You can throw one on. Grab one.
Yeah.
Or at least take
The other master.
Well, I know, but check those one.
So it's been an exciting couple weeks for us. A lot going on.
Put it down.
But
You know how hot it is? Let's grab a mint.
We got Gene's competition barbecue class next
You go,
weekend. We
Rusty?
can hop on if we feel like it. It's only $200 to get
Yeah.
Here you go, Rusty.
well,
Oh, thank you.
I'm making you one with no bun. Or you want tortilla?
put mine in a taco, yeah.
Okay.
I start my onboarding training tomorrow, all week.
Yep, Mom's got to do that too.
Luckily the place that I'm at, it's a dessert bar. It's more high-end dessert bar. But they're family oriented. So
Good morning. Hello.
they literally told me in the interview, hey, we want to designate our employees one day automatically that they can spend with their families, with them, to get what they have to do done. So I picked Sundays so that I'm not necessarily not here on
Yep.
Sundays. But I stopped that Monday. We had to go and get black jeans because Nolan does not own black jeans. I don't like wearing jeans.
We got group tonight, so that's going to be good. And one of our group members is she's moved to California, but she's going to be back in town, so that's going to be good. We haven't seen her in a
Long time.
few months, so she comes back and forth.
Ooh, I
But
have you.
we'll be seeing her tonight, and so with that, I think we've been on an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot in a couple weeks. A couple weeks that we've had going on.
Zoom in and get your picture for the camera.
Yep. So we'll get the thumbnail done up, and Mike, I know you're probably still watching. Those are Mission Zero carb tortillas. I'll show you the bag in a minute. There you go. I don't like these as well as I do the carb zero. I like those better, but
You okay?
Yeah.
those have like 3 or 4 carbs in them, where this is 0.
Just had a sesame seed go down the windpipe.
like,
have
oh,
a
that's
blessed
what-
week, Kent. So Faye's gonna make up my little tacos, and
Bless you.
you know, because I'm trying to stay away from the inflammatory starches. So, but let's get out of here, guys. I hope everybody has a blessed week. You know, get
Stay
out
safe.
there, stay safe, do something.
Check on your people.
Yeah, mental health is a big thing that I'm really going to focus on because I need it.
Yep.
I need it, and how I'm going to go about doing it, I don't know yet. But
Check on your people.
but
Make sure that your people know that they can come to you. That's also a thing.
so we're going to get out of here, kids.
You ready, Pete?
Why don't you send us out?
You gotta do it too, bro.
I'm about to.
Yeah.
Alright, there's tools and cooking. Did you have fun? It tastes good. Rock on. You guys are awesome. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next week.
See you later.
Have a great week, guys.
Have a great week, everybody. Love y'all. Stay safe.